Shadow Wolf is the ghost. Go.
Hey, it's your boy Shadow Wolf here, coming at you with another video. This is going to be an NBA theory video, which I was thinking of. So when Paul George got traded to the Thunder, something slipped my mind. They were getting really good offers from Cleveland. They were getting really good offers from the Celtics. Nothing happened. Then out of the blue, they trade Paul George to the Thunder for next to nothing. Like, that's a little bit fishy to me. And the conspiracy theory goes that Paul George was low-key demanded Indiana to trade him to the Thunder in order to recruit Russell Westbrook to come to LA. And I know that seems very far-fetched, but let's just hear me out. So, Paul George was born and raised in Palmdale, Cali, went to college at Fresno State. There's no way. Everyone knows that he wanted to go to LA, all right?
Have you talked to Kobe about coming to the Lakers?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I plan on working out with him and
Oh, you are gonna work out
pick his brain a little bit.
He idolized Kobe in the Lakers, and everyone knows that he wanted to go to LA. Like, there's a lot of proof about it.
Have you talked to Kobe about coming to the Lakers?
Not yet.
Lakers have had some great players in the past, like amazing players, but what players that have been really good don't come to mind? Well, there's Eddie Jones, there's Nick Van Exel. Why doesn't anyone talk about them? 66% of people don't even know Karl Malone was a Laker. That's weird to me. Why do people don't really mention them? I know Karl Malone only played for 1 year, but it's because they never won a title. And Paul George knows that. And Paul George, as much as he wants to be a superstar in the Lakers, like one of the best, he knows that it's not going to happen without winning a title, and he knows he can't win a title by himself, no matter what they build around him. So the master plan was to go to Oklahoma City Thunder and grab Russell Westbrook, who has 1 year left on his contract and has recently been left by Kevin Durant. I mean, everyone knows Russell Westbrook. This is probably not news to anyone, but just whoever doesn't. Westbrook grew up in Los Angeles. He loves his home, loves his friends and family, and he went to college at UCLA. And in the past, there have been possible rumors that he might return to LA for a while. I mean, and the rumors got heated up when KD left. Everyone thought he was leaving, even though he stayed for the Thunder for a couple more years. Everyone thought he was leaving. That was a huge surprise. So Westbrook stayed with OKC, in my opinion, to see his potential when he's the only star on one team. Like, he wants to say, oh yeah, I love Oklahoma City. I know Westbrook a lot. I'm a huge Westbrook fan. I think he wanted to see his potential when he was the only star on the team. And he loves the Oklahoma City fans and loves that organization. But now that Westbrook has had one of, if not the best individual season of all time, all that's left to do in his career to solidify him as one of the best of all time is to win a title. Alright, so on May 1st, Larry Bird resigned from the President of Operations, but he's staying as an advisor role, which is pretty fishy. Okay, May the 1st, Larry Bird resigns from President of Operations. And then Pacers pursued trades with the Cavs and Celtics. Like I said, they got offered a lot, but they never pulled the trigger. And then out of nowhere, Pacers trade away Paul George to the Thunder for Victor Oladipo and a broken toaster. Okay, Pablo Prigioni, but I mean, what's the difference? So these moves are kind of fishy to me, and if Pacers were planning to trade George to the Thunder on George's demand, but George or LA didn't want anyone to know about it, then these moves would sort of make it less obvious. That's the things that I would do. So why would Indiana agree to help Paul George and LA? Well, I believe that LA and Indiana may have cut a deal off the court, not on like trades, since LA didn't want to trade away any young assets. Now here's the thing. The NBA at the moment is so competitive. Like, it's like the best super teams of all time. They're not going to get past any team that wins the West. Not going to get past the Cavaliers. Sixers are on the rise. So, and Celtics, obviously. So, Indiana would not want it would not benefit them to get all these players who are going to come to Indiana and are probably going to leave in 2 years because they're not going to be competitive. It would benefit them to somehow strike a deal where they would get heavily rewarded down the road. So this is where it would make sense. I believe that Magic Johnson and LA struck a deal with Larry Bird in Indiana that if you trade Paul George to the Thunder, say, and just if you trade Paul George to the Thunder and don't ask any questions, just trade him to the Thunder, we will reward you heavily down the road. I don't know what that reward might be, but if you're the Indiana and Larry Bird, you take that deal. You would definitely take that deal. And obviously there's that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson friendship off the court. They've always been joking around, phone calls, like it just would make so much sense. And what shocked a lot of people was Indiana didn't trade Paul George at the trade deadline last year. What happened just before the trade deadline last year? Magic Johnson becoming the director of basketball operations from LA.
Because we know each other.
I see.
Just can't say, hey, I want you to come to the Lakers, even though I'm going to be winking like, you know what that means, right?
So that fits the timeline so perfectly. They're about to trade Paul George away. It was almost like a done deal at the trade deadline, and then suddenly didn't. There's no point of keeping Paul George for the end of the season if they didn't have a plan or something set into place, because they weren't going to do anything in the playoffs. That's obvious. And Paul George is going to leave in 2 years. The earlier they trade them, the more assets they could get. So, well, the more Paul George is worth because the more of the contract. So it just does not make sense to me. So it had to have been something else. And this is where this theory makes sense to me. What do you guys think of this theory? I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. See you later.